Hello everyone. Now I will be dealing with an important topic for your mains 2017, that is the role of Indira Gandhi. This is important because we know that this is the 40th anniversary of withdrawal of emergency in 1977. She played an important role during the emergency. The emergency was imposed by Indira Gandhi. Because of that, she is an important personality in our post-independence like Jayaprakash Narayana. So we can expect any questions on the contribution of Indira Gandhi or role of Indira Gandhi, especially during the emergency. So that is the relevance of this topic for your mains 2017. Who is Indira Gandhi? Indira Gandhi was an Indian politician and the only female Prime Minister of the country. She was born on 19th November 1970. This is the year we are going to celebrate the 100th birth anniversary of Indira Gandhi. Born in Nehru family, she perhaps destined for an illustration political career. She served as a Prime Minister from 1966 to 1977 and 1980 until her assassination in 1984. As a Prime Minister, she is known for centralization of power and political ruthlessness. Her political career littered with the controversies and allegations of high-handedness, corruptions and nepotism. She claimed the state of emergency that was imposed from 1975 to 1977. So here we will focus more on the emergency, the role of Indira Gandhi before emergency, during emergency and after emergency. That is important for your mains. So if you take the role of Indira Gandhi before emergency, how she was entered to the politics. Since Nehru family was the center of the national political activity, Indira Gandhi was exposed to the politics from younger age. So it was very easy for Indira Gandhi to enter to the politics and she became the member of Indian National Congress Party. In 1959, she became the president of Indian National Congress and she was the political advisor of Jawaharlal Nehru. After the death of Jawaharlal Nehru in May 1964, she decided to contest elections and eventually got elected. And she was appointed in charge of Information and Broadcasting Ministry under Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri. Following the death of Lal Bahadur Shastri in 1966 in Tashkent, Indira Gandhi was chosen as the Prime Minister candidate by the Congress High Command because they presumed she could easily manipulate it. She conducted election and emerged victorious during the interim election of 1966. After the election, she showed an extraordinary political ability that hurted some of the leaders of the Congress. There was an internal conflict within the Congress party. Finally, they decided to split into two groups. Congress Requisitionist led by Indira Gandhi and the Congress organizations, which was including the dominant syndicate members of this Congress, which has happened during the end of 1960s. Some of the notable achievements of Indira Gandhi as a Prime Minister, we can say the proposal of abolition of privy purse, which was given to the rulers of princely state for their power and authority to the government of India in 1947 when they merged with the state. It was a permanent given to the rulers of the princely states. So Indira Gandhi proposed to abolish that privy purse for ensuring equal rights for all the citizens and for reducing the revenue deficit of the government. Then another one was in 1969, the nationalization of the 14th largest bank in India. She also brought social reforms through introducing a clause to the constitution, that is equal pay for equal work. Now this is our constitutional provision under Article 39 Clause D, that is our DPSP. This is also a notable achievement of Indira Gandhi as a Prime Minister. Another one was she took a constructive step towards food shortage. During 1960s, 1970s, we know that the problem of food crisis, shortage of food. So through introducing Green Revolution, and she took a constructive steps towards the food shortage in the country that helped India to reduce dependency on import of this food. Then we can say the explosion in 1974. Nuclear explosion in 1974 at the Pokhran, that was a peaceful purpose. We tested this for a peaceful purpose that also helped for India to improve or develop in science and technology, that to make a self-reliant nuclear power. So these are some of the notable achievements of Indira Gandhi as a Prime Minister. Now we'll look at 1971 war. The 1971 war was an after effects of Bangladesh liberation war in East Pakistan, which was brought by Awami League led by Mujibur Rahman and the military brutality led by Pakistan President Yahya Khan. The military specifically targeted the Hindu minority and committed atrocity act of torture throughout the country. As a result, 10 million East Pakistan citizens fled to India and they sought refuge in India. These refugee situations prompted Indira Gandhi to support Awami Leagues, their struggle, their freedom struggle and their fight for freedom from West Pakistan. So we supported the East Pakistan. We have provided logistical support and we have sent a troop to fight against West Pakistan. Finally, the war concluded on 16th December 1971 with an instrument of surrender by the Pakistan army. So it has marked an emergence of a new nation called Bangladesh. So the victory of India in 1971 war, which enhanced the popularity of Indira Gandhi as a smart political leader. Now we will look at the role of Indira Gandhi during the emergency, especially the imposition of emergency. In 1975, the opposition parties, social activists staged irregular demonstrations against the central government over rising inflation, poor state of economy and unchecked corruption. We know that movement led by Jayaprakash Narayan, a mass movement against corruption. The same year, Allahabad High Court ruled that Indira Gandhi election to 1971 is invalid because she was used some malpractices. Because of that, the verdict ordered to resign the post of as a Prime Minister, the post as an MP. So instead of resigning, she declared an emergency, an internal emergency, because of the unstable political situation of the country on 26 June 1975. During the emergency, fundamental rights, civil liberties, federal provisions were suspended. It has given a strict censorship on the media, on the press. It also stifled the protest and opposition to the government. Because of that, many of the opposition leaders, including Jayaprakash Narayan, Morarji Desai, even Atal Bihari Vajpayee were arrested. During the emergency, Indira Gandhi amended the constitution, that is 42nd Amendment of the Constitution, the Amendment Act 1976. It has made some changes to the constitution, like it has changed the description of India from sovereign democratic republic to sovereign socialist to secular democratic republic. It has changed the word from unity of the nation to unity and integrity of the nation. It was a most controversial constitutional amendment because it attempted to reduce the power of Supreme Court and High Court to pronounce upon the constitutional validity of the law. This constitutional amendment made many changes to the constitutions. It has brought many changes. Because of that, sometimes it called a mini constitution. During the emergency, Sanjay Gandhi, the son of Indira Gandhi, he began to rule the country with full of authority. He ordered a forceful removal of slum dwelling and highly unpopular forced sterilization program, which aims to curb India's growing populations. This has caused the decline of Congress dominance, decline of Indira Gandhi's power. In 1977, Indira Gandhi called for an election. In that election, the opposition party, Janata Party, defeated Indira Gandhi. So that was the decline of the power, decline of the Congress dominance since 1952. Now, the role of Indira Gandhi after the emergency. We know that she received many criticism because of the imposition of emergency. The first non-Congress government was formed, that is Janata government, in 1977. Morarji Desai became the Prime Minister. But they couldn't make a consistency in their power because there was an internal conflict within the Janata Party. In an effort to expel Indira Gandhi in Parliament, they ordered to arrest her. This strategy actually failed and that benefited Indira Gandhi. She gained a sympathy from the people who were considered as an autocrat just 2 years before. In 1980 election, Congress returned to the power with landslide majority and Indira Gandhi returned as Prime Minister once again in India. Many of the experts viewed it was a result of inefficient and ineffective Janata Party or Janata government. Another important role of Indira Gandhi after the emergency is that her order of Operation Blue Star. In September 1981, a Sikh militant group demanding a separate country called Khalistan, which was led by Jarnail Singh Minderwale, it was in Punjab, and they entered to the Golden Temple Amritsar. Despite presence of thousands civilians in that temple, Indira Gandhi ordered the army to charge. That is called Operation Blue Star. The army restored with a heavy weaponry including tanks and cannons that helped to reduce threat from these militant and claimed lives of innocent civilians and also damaged this golden temple. So in history, this act has viewed an unparalleled tragedy of Indian history. The impact of these attacks increased the communal tension. Many Sikhs resigned from armed and civil administrative office. Many Sikhs returned their award in this protest. It also tarnished the political image of Indira Gandhi. On 31st October 1984, Indira Gandhi's two security guards, they fired 31 bullets on Indira Gandhi from their own service weaponry as a revenge of this Golden Temple assault. So she was assassinated on 31st October 1984. Now we look at what are the relevance of Indira Gandhi in contemporary India. We can say the major political asset of Indira Gandhi is that her empathy and affection for the poor, for the underprivileged, minorities, weaker sections, marginalized, concern for their social conditions. During 1971 election, we know that one of the slogans adopted by Indira Gandhi is that Garibi Hatao, remove the poverty. That was to address the problems of the poor. He tried to enhance the empowerment of the women, like equal pay for equal wage. So likewise, she tried to address the problems of weaker sections, the poor, the marginalized, and their social conditions. So the poor in return, they trusted with Indira Gandhi, they viewed Indira Gandhi as their savior, and they have given that much love and trust to the Indira Gandhi. Then another one was the secular ideals of Indira Gandhi. Ideologically, she believed the secular tradition of the country. We can understand it through the two incidents. We can say she insisted Dr. Zakir Hussain as a country's president, who was a Muslim. Another incident was she cancelled an order to remove the duty of Sikh officials like security guard because of secularism. Another one we can understand, she adopted the secular word to the preamble. It was during her tenure. Indira Gandhi, aware of the national interest and maintaining its prestige among the community of the nation. We can understand it by two incidents. One was India under her leadership, one of the few countries to overcome the oil shock in 1970s. We know that there was oil crisis in 1973 which affected the global economy. But India, one of the countries which could overcome the oil shock of 1970s. It was during the prime ministership of Indira Gandhi. Then another incident we can say the success of green revolutions that helped to address the problem of food shortage in India, that helped for self-reliance in food grain and to reduce the dependence on India's food import. So these are the two incidents we can say she was aware about the India's national interest and maintaining the prestige among the community of the nation. She was also active in global affairs. We can say the Afghanistan civil war during 1970s. Soviet Union sent a troop to help that harassed government. She refused to condemn that action, but she advised the Soviet Union to withdraw their troops from Afghanistan immediately as soon as possible. She opposed the indirect intervention of the US and Pakistan on Afghanistan civil war. This has helped India's longest friendship with Afghanistan and improved relation with Afghanistan, because it was a strategy to prevent another hostile administration to the India. It has improved the foreign policy with Afghanistan. Another one was the rejection of non-proliferation treaty that led to a nuclear explosion in 1974 at the Pokhran. That was for a peaceful purpose, that to make a self-reliant nuclear power India. It has helped for improving and development of science and technology. So these are the relevant contribution of Indira Gandhi to the contemporary India. So you should go through the Indira Gandhi contribution or role of Indira Gandhi before emergency, during emergency and after the emergency. So this topic is relevant for your mains, and please go through your material, and all the best. Thank you.